Okay, hello everyone. My name is Laquan Williams, and today in this video, I'm going to be talking about the most recent episode of Legends of Tomorrow, and this was yesterday actually, it was 2 days ago, it was the 27th of the January 2022 day, go on Wednesday, and the episode it was Thursday. It was Wednesday. Yeah. Anyway, the episode was called it was season 7, episode 10. Anyways, the episode's title obviously isn't relevant, but the issue at hand is obviously what happened on the show, and obviously what we see obviously to take place with the Legends of Tomorrow show repeatedly. It was very fun. It was very entertaining. But actually, it was the 26th it aired, so it didn't air on Thursday or Friday. It was Wednesday. So, anyways, getting back to the show at hand, the Legends of Tomorrow's season's about to be over. There's 13 episodes this season. I don't know if there's going to be an eighth one, if there will be, or if they're going to close the show out this season and just it'll be canceled with its final season being this one. So there's only about 3 episodes left: episode 11, 12, and 13, which is the season finale. If there is an eighth one, it'll be cut down into either, like I said, I've been guessing, either 8 episodes for the final eighth season, or it will be a 10-part episode series, which will be split into 2 parts, essentially, whether it's eight episodes or 10. For the first half of the season, the first 4 episodes are a storyline continuing on in order on one general mission that the Legends of Tomorrow are trying to accomplish, and the second half will be the ending and the closure of the rest of what they're trying to fix as far as the timelines themselves, the timeline itself, any aberrations that have occurred, what they've screwed up, and obviously who do they have to face. I don't know who's going to be the villain in the last season. Hopefully it's not Bishop again, and we won't see him. If they're doing last season, it obviously season 8 will be the last one, more than likely. It would be very weird for them to bring Bishop back again, not be the villain, but become a team member. Because I remember some people were saying that he was supposed to replace Nate right here. You can see Nate's the back of his head, aka Steel. You don't see his face, but you see everybody else's face in the picture here. All of them. So essentially what happened in this episode was they went to the 1930s to stop the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. But they obviously try to stop the attempt and make sure they keep him alive to change time itself and make some type of aberration time to lure the AI robot versions of themselves, the Legends, obviously there to that timeline to order to trick them to somehow weave their way into getting their time ship back, which is the Wave Rider, so they can go home and obviously back to their own timelines respectively and get away from there, because they're obviously stuck. They're not barely able to travel around because they're using Dr. Gwen Davis, who he's not here, played by Matt Ryan, who played John Constantine, who's no longer playing him on the show. He's playing a different character now because obviously he was no longer able to be that character, John Constantine, obviously, because HBO Max took the rights to John Constantine because I forgot the J.J. Abrams is going to be making his own show with his Bad Robot production company on HBO Max this year, for more than likely, of a dark John Constantine show where the guy playing him is an unknown actor who's going to be from England, who's going to be British, but he's going to be black. That's what we assumed it's going to be. More than likely, it won't be obviously Idris Elba, obviously, or the guy who played Papa Midnight and John Constantine years ago, because he's playing on The Walking Dead, but that's obviously over with now, so he can play them either way, but that'd still be kind of weird. Don't know who's playing him. We'll be very interested to see who is playing John Constantine on the HBO Max show, because it's going to be very dark, gritty, TVMA, rated R type of show, which we've never seen before, besides, obviously, the John Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves from The Matrix, and obviously John Wick, the actor Keanu Reeves, played John Constantine in 2005. Matt Ryan played him on his own show on NBC in 2014 to 15. It had one season, 13 episodes long. It got canceled. I have it right here on Blu-ray DVD myself as well, and it's great to still watch it. Obviously, even after what happened, NBC did not want to put that DVD out, even though they canceled the show. It took them about 2 years to hold out, to be jerks, to actually give us, the fans, what we wanted, even though we had to pay for it in the first place, obviously. But he played, years later, Matt Ryan got a chance to play John Constantine again, and he got into the DC CW TV network universe by playing him on the Green Arrow and the crossovers, and then they decided to make him a regular on the Legends of Tomorrow. He was on the show for the past 3-4 years, and obviously now he's gone. Matt Ryan's obviously playing, like I said, Gwen Davis, Professor Gwen Davis. So they've been using his time machine to travel throughout time. It's the best they can do, but they can't use anything further than that or anything else with technologically based, because they have nothing to help them or assist them. Now that Gideon's flesh and bone, she's not an AI system. She can't spring up any, I guess you could say, assistance to help them with, but she's still very smart and useful. But her character now, making her more human-like, is obviously stupid, boring, and I hate it. Now her and what's his name, Gary, are in a relationship. They're dating. I think I'm kind of figuring out to myself, how is that going to work out when she actually has to become an AI system again? And she's no longer flesh and bone. She's going to be the AI system controlling the ship, just like obviously Apple has Siri. They have their version, which is Gideon. So I don't know how it's going to work. I really don't care, but we'll see what obviously happens when they actually destroy the evil version of Gideon, the evil version of the Legends of Tomorrow, the AI systems, obviously robots, because they have clones of themselves. So essentially, the evil they're basically in this last half of the season, they're facing evil versions of themselves, not just the Legends, but also Gideon. So what happened last night was they all went to, like I said, the 1930s to stop the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, stop him from being assassinated. They figured out that the Black Hand, these assassins, obviously were the ones in charge of it. Three of them, three guys. They went to the bar and tavern to try to scope out the place and look where, to see how it was. While Lance was trying to drug the assassins' drinks, the Black Hand, who were sent those the guys, assassins, to kill Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Some guy told them that they need to come talk to him in the back. They said they asked Sarah, and the guy asked obviously Sarah and Steele, aka Nate, what are you doing here? You look out of place. And he said, time travelers, you guys, as time travelers, you guys got blew your cover or something. Even though nobody else knows who they were. Sarah's obviously very sneaky, and she's obviously has killed people before because she is a trained assassin, trained and worked with the League of Assassins. Ra's al Ghul, Talia, and Anissa, who she was dating, obviously. They went to a secret door, portal, window in the wall, and he went there. They were in a bar, which they're in right now. There's a bunch of time travelers there, and the guy explained to Sarah and Lance and the rest of the team that everybody is here to stop Archduke Franz Ferdinand from being assassinated. All of these people here are time travelers just like you, and they didn't know about this place. It's a secret haven / hideout for all time travelers. So everybody gets a ticket. Just like you do when you have to wait in line at a store or a deli market, and everybody gets their chance to try to do it. And you get multiple chances apparently until I guess you run out, because obviously the team got their own and Sarah Lance got her own, but they eventually ran out. Going into this though, they had a foolproof plan, but that they said that was going to help them stop the assassins. Obviously, they drew it out on a map and whatnot. Nate came up with it. Him, Gideon, and Sarah, and what was her name? Ava Sharp right here. Actually, I don't see Ava. Actually, no, Ava's not in this shot. Oh yeah, because she was on the ship. She was back with Professor Gwen Davies. At the house that they were staying in. Whatever that they're currently hiding out in. So she wasn't there. They all came up with a plan and idea to take the assassins of the Black Hand out and to stop the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. But obviously, there were complications. They didn't know that time itself was stopping them, but that's what they thought. They kept running into, I guess you could say, the wall. They kept failing over and over again. Sarah Lance got killed herself multiple times on accident. It was really bad, but they didn't. It wasn't time stopping them from trying to stop the assassination of somebody else, actually, who they didn't know who was there. But I'll get to that later in a minute. So yeah, which was funny because I was like, they had a foolproof plan, but they actually didn't know what could have happened because they didn't know what they were going up against, obviously. Besides those three assassins, the secret person who was in the background screwing up time itself. So anyways, Sarah Lance tried to kill these guys multiple times and she failed. I was kind of weird. The first time she did it, the very first time, she was nervous and out of it. And it was while I was watching and just laughing and scratching my head, like, Sarah Lance is a trained killer and assassin. She's fought hundreds of people, dozens of people, killed multiple people. She's fought Damien Dark hand-to-hand in combat. She fought somebody in this episode in hand-to-hand combat as well who was bad, but he no longer has his power, so he was a threat to Sarah Lance, but not much of a threat as obviously he would have been if he didn't have his powers. Still, obviously, Damien Dark was as well. He killed Sarah, if you don't remember. She's fought millions of people, hundreds of people in a combat trained with the League of Assassins, but she was frozen when she was trying to kill three guys by herself in the 1940s. Keep in mind, these guys had old 1930s weapons, guns, grenades, and stuff. And she obviously was able to stop them. She's a trained assassin from the 20th/21st century with over 30 years of 15, 20 years of knowledge, and her being obviously the White Canary. But she froze up when she tried to, when it came time to kill these three guys and take them out. I thought that was really strange because I'm like, Sarah Lance is the big badass assassin, and that's not really supposed to happen at all with her because these guys had no powers, and they're obviously, like I said, three guys from the 1930s who are going to kill Archduke Franz Ferdinand. They don't have assassination training skills, none of that recon detail, none of weapons, and Sarah Lance has the drop on them because she's a trained killer, fighter, and assassin. So, who was trained by the League of Assassins, obviously. So that was weird to me. Obviously, with her stealth knowledge, expert ability, and skills. So she got killed multiple times, and they just kept failing over and over again. No plans that they had worked. Sarah was failing by herself over and over again. Then the team jumped in to help her, but they actually weren't doing anything to actually stop the guys from the assassination from happening. They were actually standing on the side like spectators saying, "We're going to be your coaches, Sarah," like a football team, as Gideon said. And they turned it into a big joke, and they were like looking on with their binoculars and just shaking their head and stuff. I think one of them pulled out popcorn. I forgot who it was. It was a big, huge joke, and it was just really weird and silly, and it's not funny. I'm just like, they had a plan, but nothing ever works. Like this always constantly happens, and they even said in this episode, we're always constantly failing, but we still get the job done, even though we fail a lot, which was weird because I'm just like, Sarah Lance just messed up over and over again, killing herself, failing the mission to stop these guys, these assassins. She finally did, obviously, but this was obviously after they had a time situation that at hand in a manner that they had to fix. So when they figured out, obviously, that somebody was screwing time, they asked Professor Gwen Davis to give them some type of device to stop time itself, and that's exactly what happened. And then they figured out the guy in the top hat who was there was messing up time and screwing them up. So what happened was Sarah Lance got to the assassins, she took everybody out, got to the last guy. Then when she pressed the button to stop time itself, obviously this whole situation, it still stood time. Time still stood in place, so everybody around her was frozen. So Sarah Lance was looking around saying, "What's going on?" The guy at the top hat appears out of nowhere, and it's none other than Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash. Spoiler alert, he has no powers anymore. He has no super speed, obviously, because remember, obviously, when the Flash happened a couple seasons ago, he got taken out of the timeline and Ripple, and the not Black Adam, the Black Flash took him away, and his powers were taken. The time variant people allowed that to happen. They brought him back and gave him another chance, but took his powers away. It all felt reminiscent of the storyline of Freddy Krueger. He's like, "Oh yes, these guys give me another chance," or whatnot. But this was like similar to Freddy Krueger's, because remember, Freddy Krueger got his powers obviously after he was able to the dream guy. These dream guys obviously gave it to him. These kind of like shadowy creatures gave him his powers after he died, obviously. They gave him another chance. Obviously, after he died, they exploded out of him. This was different. After he got Eobard Thawne took his powers taken away, was given another chance. So he told Sarah Lance, "I'm here to protect the timeline. This watch that I have stops time. It allows me to do specific things. I'm stuck here and I can't leave, and this is my punishment." And it was a big, huge sob story about how I learned my lesson and whatnot. This is the Reverse Flash. He's killed a bunch of people and has caused a lot of destruction. So I was laughing. In this episode, the writers try to make the villain, I guess you could say, vulnerable, and still, I would say the word, what's the word? Not just vulnerable, but I would say afraid, kind of like, not afraid. I'm actually vulnerable, and I'm remorseful. Like he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like, no, I was just like laughing. Like, I don't really care about you being here anymore. You were obviously punished. You were given a second chance, but you have no powers. He fought Sarah Lance. She put up a better fight. And obviously, because he has no powers as the Reverse Flash, she took him down, gave him the story about what happened. And Sarah Lance told him that they're trying to stop their evil doppelgangers from taking their ship, from keeping their ship. They're trying to get it back. The Reverse Flash told Sarah Lance that he can't move anywhere. He has to stay here. He's stuck here. This is his punishment forever. And he could probably go somewhere else, but that's not up to him. They are in charge of the time variance, some of these other people involved. It's all weird, obviously, but we didn't see anybody, obviously, do anything, tell him what to do. His watch that he has allows him to stop time and power. Obviously, he powers up his abilities to reset and go throughout the day and give them a window of time, the Legends, to get their ship back. But the Wave Rider. But Sarah Lance was told by Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash, that if you fail, Sarah, you will be stuck here and you will have to take my place. They didn't explain. He didn't explain what would happen to the team. I have no idea if they would be placed in a different timeline or not time zone, but timeline, or possibly they would be thrown into some type of void like purgatory itself. I have no idea, but he told Sarah Lance, Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash, he told Sarah Lance, if you fail, you have to take my place here and you'll be stuck here forever. And that's basically it. If you fail to get your ship back, because he gave her a 40-minute window to stop time to make the AI robot versions of the Legends, the killer robots. Their doppelgangers believe that the assassination attempt on Archduke Franz Ferdinand was a failure, but it would be a success based off of them giving him 40 minutes window, so he would still be killed, but it would be at a later date. So they would be tricked to come there and think time was screwed up, so they would fix the timeline, because that's what Eobard Thawne said. He told Sarah Lance, the Reverse Flash told Sarah Lance, I'm here to keep the timeline intact because that's my job now, because I'm punished and overpowered. So that's what basically has happened. In the next episode, which will be season 7, episode 11, next week, the Legends of Tomorrow will be facing their evil doppelgangers, and they have 40 minutes, which is entirely what one episode on the show is, typically 40 to 41 minutes, to stop this. And what's going to happen is obviously they have to figure out a way to get back on their ship, take out the evil versions of themselves, trick them, and get somebody on the ship as a infiltrator in order to trick them and kick them off and restore the whole entire ship. Because once they get there, the evil Gideon obviously can't take down the whole entire team, and that will allow time for Gideon to destroy her or do something like that. Obviously, Gwen Davis is smart, so they can use him and Behrad to obviously screw up her systems and take her out of command and reset her and try to get her out of the way to get the real Gideon back in there as AI system. How that will work, I have no idea. We'll see what happens when the show's over in the next couple episodes, which will be 3. That's basically what happened. They kept screwing up and trying to take down these guys. They finally did, but obviously they stopped the assassination attempt on Archduke Franz Ferdinand for only a few seconds to give them a window in order for them to get their ship back. So that's what they got as Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash, basically helped them. He told Sarah Lance, I'll help you, but like I said previously, he said, if you fail, you will be stuck here forever. You have to take my place, you alone. So basically, they had to go to the bad guy for help. That's essentially what is going on. This has happened the last couple of seasons as well, with them helping, getting teamed up, and talking with not Vandal Savage. They got help for a little bit from him when they went to hell a couple of seasons ago, but he's basically done with. Bishop. Now he's evil. Now we're going to help. But he's still evil, but we're the good version of him. He's going to help us take down the evil version of him. So it's a little bit back and forth, like I said. They got help from Reverse Flash, and he explained to them, yes, Sarah, I'll help you, but you lose. You don't make it in time. After I gave you the 40-minute window, you're stuck here. You have to take my place and tag in. And he'll go back to probably, I do not know where. Will he get his powers back? Nobody knows if he will. But Sarah will be stuck there. Sarah Lance alone. The rest of the team will be gone. I have no idea where they'll be. If they'll be erased from time itself, the timeline period, or will they have their memories erased and they'll be placed back in their respective timelines, in cities and states that they were in years, because Gwen Davis obviously is not here. Professor Gwen Davis is from the 1930s and 40s, obviously, so he would have to go back there. That's essentially what's going to happen. So we'll see, obviously, in the next episode if they make it in time to get their ship back in the window, which I think will probably happen. They'll get the ship back. Episode 12 is them trying to figure out what they need to fix, obviously, but obviously what's going to happen in episode 12 will be the AI system is going to chase them down, get to them, which will cause some type of, obviously, a situation of showdown, which will lead to them it'll be to be continued. Then on the 13th episode, which will be the season finale, the big fight will happen when they try to fight they have to defeat their doppelgangers and take down the evil Gideon, and possibly have to take down another version of Bishop coming back again. I have no idea if that will happen, but we'll see, obviously. And that's basically it. That's my review for the Legends of Tomorrow's season 7, episode 10 review. That just happened obviously recently, a couple days ago, on the 26th of January 2022. We'll see what happens when the show's over. There are 3 more episodes left, with a total of 13 episodes for this whole entire season. Last season had 15. The previous season had about 14. I think it was 14, 15 with the special. So as you can see, the last couple of years, they've been losing 2 episodes per season, so they're cutting them down, which makes me think obviously the next season will be the last one, which will be the 8th and final one, more than likely. It'll probably be 10 episodes, not 11 or 12. It'll probably be 8 to 10 10 will be the most. Like I said, a 2-part, obviously, final season for them, which obviously will be a 2-part story. The first half will be them fixing whatever they need to screwed up on. The last half of them will be the other 8 episodes or 5 episodes fixing, obviously, what they obviously screwed up on. What they first 5 will be figuring out what happened. Second half will be fixing it, obviously, and then obviously towards the end, them fixing the life scene, them obviously having to move on from each other and go back to where they live initially, obviously, and the closure episode, obviously, would be the last and final one, which will be the final episode of this whole entire show, which will be season 8 more than likely. I don't know how many episodes, but we'll see. It's just been a very big issue watching the show. I wanted to go to the comment section here, but I actually don't after I read them, because people just kind of like, they're like, oh yeah, the show's fun still, it's cool. But like some people like myself, I guess more people are not mincing or less mincing their words, but the ratings show it. Show's not funny anymore, it's boring. I'm not entertained by it anymore. The comedy, it's just over with. I'm just really happy and glad that the show is finally going to be over next year, this year probably, or possibly next year. It's been a huge drag. You know, when I look back at the Green Arrow and the Flash, and obviously Black Lightning, even watching Superman and Lois, none of these shows actually pissed me off the most. But besides this, there were some moments in the Green Arrow, obviously, with their big gun debate that was so stupid, and I laughed at the episode when they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about guns and have this big huge gun debate," but yet and still we're using guns afterwards. I was kind of scratching my head like, this is very hypocritical. But you can go ahead and do it because you can have that if you want. If that's the case, then take all the guns off the show. Then that was stupid. Obviously, it's a superhero show, and plus everybody on the show doesn't have powers or use arrows to shoot people with, like Oliver Queen, obviously, which was stupid. Like I said, Flash pissed me off. Flash has pissed me off lots of times. With the back and forth argument with everybody dumping on Barry, including Iris herself, and that pissed me off because I'm just like, Barry's like killing himself over and over again to save time in the world. I'm just like, can't you just leave him alone? Obviously, he's gone through enough. Both his parents are dead. Saw his mom get killed, and his dad's in jail, and his dad died. So I'm like, he's not really happy, obviously, and he has to save everybody, and that's a hard thing for him to do. So leave him alone. Then Black Lightning is ending. Last season, the first couple episodes were great, but like I said, towards the end, very terrible. They cut a lot of characters out that were supposed to be there, villains included, obviously, but they cut them out. Like I said, Wayne Brady's character, Lady Eve, obviously played by Jill Scott, she was cut out, and they just cut them gone. Like, oh, where are these villains at? Gone. Only villain now is Tobias Whale. That's it. So that pissed me off. But like I said, even though that's the case, the most I've been pissed off with consistently is obviously the Legends of Tomorrow for the past 2.5, I'd say probably 2.5 seasons, because of the Bishop situation. It's been dragging on now for the last 2 years. Season 7 and 6, when they brought him on, obviously it's been a huge drag. Before he was there, it actually was less. It was still not that funny, but it was still okay, because I'm just like, you use the same villain for 2 seasons in a row, then you make him good. There's different versions of him out there. Then obviously you're working with him, and now he's kind of going to be part of the team. It's really annoying, and it's obviously quite stupid if you ask me. But that's, like I said, that's what the writers are doing. The show's not taking itself very seriously anymore. After the first 2 seasons, you're like, wow, what in the hell happened? It was like so serious. Then Guardians of the Galaxy turned into Guardians of the Galaxy, essentially. When Rip Hunter was on the show, there was no big, huge joke. There was comedy, but it was still very serious. Vandal Savage was the villain for the first season, kind of going into the second one, barely. He was gone after that, obviously, was one of the most dangerous and scary villains of the show. It was way more serious, way more fun and intense with him. Neron, the Reverse Flash on the show, Damien Dark. Like I said, it was very fun and entertaining, and it was better back then, obviously. But that's how this show has been, obviously, for the past couple of years and seasons. So we shall see what happens, obviously, if it does end next year, or possibly the end of this year, for a final season, because this will be over. This will be over the second week of February. If they do finally do a last season, it could air in the wintertime or the fall, October to January, possibly. I have no idea. I'm just guessing and speculating, but I don't know. But that'll be the end of my video review for this. Again, Season 7, Episode 10 of the Legends of Tomorrow, and that's all I have to say about this. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section if you have not watched it. You stopped watching the show years ago, obviously, because of burnt out reasons, along with CWTV Network shows as well. in total. I understand myself and a lot of other people have been pissed off about it, but still watch the shows. I watched the ending of the Black Lightning and Green Arrow. I'm still gonna watch the Flash. Obviously, I never cut off the shows. I still keep watching because I'm still upset and mad, but I still want to see how they end. I don't want to leave a couple of seasons, come back to the show after not watching it for years, and have to binge watch and catch up and figure out what happened with all these shows. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, when the show is about to be over within the next 6 months to a year. I don't know. That's all just speculation from here, but that's the end of my video again. And thanks again for watching. That's all I have to say about this in regards to Legends of Tomorrow Season 7 Episode 10 review. Thank you again for watching, and that's all I have to say again. Thanks. Goodbye.